everyone, it's me, Thorgy, and it is time, once again, for the Fight for the Future charity stream. Now, if this is your first year being with this channel, the Fight for the Future charity stream is an event that we host every single year where we stream fighting games for a week straight to raise money for a good cause. Normally, we do it during the summer, but this summer was insanely hot up here in New York, and this room where I do all my recording and my streaming is the one room in the apartment where I don't have air conditioning, so I don't know, I didn't think you guys wanted to watch me pass out on stream, so instead we're going to be doing it next week. Starting next Monday and going up until October 2nd, we're going to be streaming fighting games every single day for at least 8 hours. So make sure that you mark your calendars, tune in to twitch.tv/Professor Thorgy at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time next Monday. That's when we're going to be kicking the entire thing off. Now, what charity are we going to be raising money for this time? This year, we are going to be raising money for the International Rescue Committee. Now, this is an organization that raises money for people facing crises all around the world, whether that be as a result of weather, famine, war. Currently, they're raising a lot of money for people who have had to flee the Ukraine as a result of the war going on there, which is where I first heard about them. And I then did a little bit of research on them. I looked them up on Charity Watchdog, which is an amazing website that keeps track of how much money charities raise, how much of that money they actually spend on the thing they're raising the money for. And they had a wonderful score over there. So these guys sound like a wonderful organization. So they are who we're going to be raising money for this year. And last year we raised money for Doctors Without Borders, and you guys went above and beyond. You guys just decimated our starting goal. So I am going to set our goal this year higher than we have ever set before at $1,000. I know that's a lot, but we were able to surpass that last year, and I believe in all of us. I think we can do it again. But you guys might be wondering, well, what games are you going to be playing? I will let you know in just a second, but first I have to tell you that we are doing something different this year with Fight for the Future, because previously I had been doing this all by myself. But this year, we are going to actually be partnering with another streamer. And that streamer is you. Maybe, if you feel like it, no pressure, but you can if you want. Yes, what I'm talking about is that we use this program, Tiltify, to raise money for the charities. Tiltify, it is an amazing website out there. It makes charity streams incredibly easy. Basically, it just gives you the donate button, you put it up there on your Twitch page, people go to the donate button, and it just sends their money directly to the charity stream. It does not go through me in any way, it doesn't go through anyone else, it just goes directly to the charity. It makes charity streams so insanely easy, I don't have to worry about keeping track of all this money, and it makes it so that the highest possible amount of donations go directly to the charity itself. But last year, I found out about something that you can do with them, and I decided, you know what, this year, I want to actually attempt that. They have a thing where when you start up a charity stream, you can basically partner with anyone else out there that wants to join in. They have a share button, and you can go, and if you are a streamer, you can click on that share button, and now you're just part of the stream. So what I'm going to do is in the description down below, I will put a link to where you, if you are a streamer, can click on that link, go there, and it will basically just say, here's the donate button. You can now put that donate button up on your Twitch streams, up on your YouTube streams, wherever it is that you do your streaming. So if you want to be a part of the Fight for the Future charity stream, if you want to do your own streaming during that week, then you can go get that donate button, put it up there, and any amount of money that you raise will also go towards that goal. And one last thing that I need to fill you guys in on before we actually talk about the schedule is that if you were not with us here last year, as I said, this is happening over at twitch.tv/Professor Thorgy, but this week I will also be uploading over there the stream from last year, so that way you can go and watch what this is all about, and you can catch up on memorable moments like this. Good times. Anywho, I think I've now filled you guys in on everything that you need to know. It's starting next Monday over at twitch.tv/Professor Thorgy, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, if you guys want to join in and stream as part of the Fight for the Future stream yourself, you can click the join button in the description down below. And also, just going to let you guys know this, if you want to keep up to date on everything that's going on with Fight for the Future, then make sure that you follow me on Twitter at Thorgy's Arcade, because even though I make sure that I plan all this out and I try and make sure that everything is in order, stuff can always go wrong. I am doing this all by myself. There's nobody that can take over for me in case, I get sick or an emergency comes up. So in case for any reason we have to delay anything or reschedule anything, I will be announcing it over at twitter.com/ThorgiesArcade. But I will also make sure to update you guys here on the YouTube channel as well. So I think everything has now been put in place. I think you guys are all caught up, which means we can actually talk about the schedule itself. What games are we going to be playing as part of Fight for the Future? Well, I'm not going to tell you guys game by game, but I will tell you what all the themes and all the blocks are going to be. Starting next Monday, we're kicking the whole thing off with a block that I call 2022 the Year of Fighters, because this year has had so many fighting games come out. So we're just going to play them. King of Fighters 15, Phantom Breaker, DNF Duel, Multiverses, all that's going to get played. Then after that is a returning segment from last year called Path of a Thousand Elves. Was Path of a Thousand Elves? Well, you know how on this channel I like to joke all the time about how I'm really bad at fighting games? Even though I love them, I'm just so bad at fighting games. Yeah, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. For all you people out there who don't think I'm actually bad at fighting games, no, I'm going to prove that. Because Path of a Thousand Elves is when I go online and play against other people, and every time that I lose, I have to donate to the charity. And the first game that we're going to be playing for Path of a Thousand Elves is Rumbleverse. I know this isn't exactly a fighting game itself, but it's fighting game adjacent, and the fighting game community has kind of fallen in love with it this year, so we're going to be playing that. And I know that it is not a traditional fighter, it is a battle royale game, so my definition of losing is any time that I don't make it to the top 10, I'm going to be donating to the charity. And then after that, we're going to be closing out the very first day with a segment that I like to call The Third Year is What Counts. This is our third year of doing Fight for the Future, so we're going to play a block of games that all have the number 3 in them. Next, on Tuesday, we're going to kick things off with a 2-hour spotlight of the Capcom Fighting Collection. This is a collection of games that we've been asking for a long time. We finally got, and there's some really good stuff on there, and it's actually a very loving tribute to these games. So we're gonna spend 2 hours just going through it and playing as many of these games as we can. After that is a segment I like to call Pocket Punchers. These are handheld fighting games. Yes, there is a long tradition of handheld fighting games. Some of them are really good, and some of them are really weird, like the Killer Instinct Game Boy game. We have that, we're going to play it, if I can get it to work. After that, we're going to do a segment that you guys have actually been asking for a while. Ever since the very first Fight for the Future, you guys have been asking for this. We're finally going to do it. Salty Bets. For anyone who doesn't know, Salty Bets is a channel on Twitch where they basically just have a Mugen with an infinite number of characters. They pick 2 of them, have them get randomly matched against each other with a computer controlling each character, and people basically just gamble on who they think is going to win. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to spend an hour just watching Salty Bets, and I'm going to have the chat vote on who they think is going to win each match, and if the chat's correct, I have to donate to the charity. Yeah, this is another one of those segments where I'm going to be risking some donations myself because, hey, this is a very big goal that we set this year. I'm asking you guys to donate a lot, so you know what? I'm going to donate a lot. And then for our final block on Tuesday, Cretaceous Combat. These are fine games with a prehistoric twist to it. So games where you're playing as cavemen, games where you're playing as dinosaurs, you get the idea. Wednesday, fairly self-explanatory day. We're kicking things off with Super Robot Fighters. These are fine games where we play as robots. Then we got another Path of a Thousand Elves where we're playing Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. We all asked for that game to get rollback. It got rollback. I tested it out. It works great. So we're going to be taking it online, and I'm going to be getting my butt kicked to donate money to charity. And we're going to be closing things out with Anime Fighters. These are fine games based on animes. Again, kind of self-explanatory. Now, Thursday, we got ourselves a whole themed day. That entire day is going to be themed around console wars. Yes, for anybody who was around my age, you remember the blood feud that Nintendo and Sega were in back in the day. Well, you might not know this, but both Nintendo and Sega have made a bunch of fighting games over the years. So in the morning, we're going to have a block dedicated to Nintendo fighting games, and then we're going to close things out in the evening with a block dedicated to Sega fighting games. And right there in the middle, we're going to have another hour of Salty Bets. Friday is another day that is a theme day because this year is the 35th anniversary of Street Fighter, but it is also the 30th anniversary of Mortal Kombat. So in the morning, we're going to have a block dedicated to the history of Street Fighter. Then in the evening, we're going to have a block dedicated to the history of Mortal Kombat. And right in the middle, we have sort of an interesting experimental game that we're going to be playing. This is something that we've never attempted here on this channel, but I think it could be a lot of fun. We're going to take a break from actually playing fighting games, and what we're going to do is my wife, who does not play fighting games, she doesn't really know anything about fighting games, she is going to be joining us, and I'm going to be blindfolded, and she is going to have to describe fighting game characters to me, and I'm going to have to guess who she's talking about. And if I get wrong, again, I donate to the charity. Then, Saturday, October 1st, ooh man. Oh, if you guys have watched this in the past, you know what Saturday means. Saturday means the Scrub Block. This is the block of the worst fighting games that I own, and we've played some stinkers in the past, but I got a special selection of dirty games this year. So yeah, make sure that you tune in to find just the worst garbage that I own, and we'll see if we can actually top some of the horrible, horrible games that we've had to play in the past. Then, in the middle of the day, this is sort of a tradition for Fight for the Future, but every single year we do a tier maker list. Not based around things like, how good a character is in a game, because that's something that you need skill to know, and I have none of that. No, more stuff like, how much we like the character, or how good they are in terms of the story, or their design, or that kind of stuff. Stuff that's perfect for me, someone who has no idea how to actually play the games. So this year, you might have noticed that we don't have any Guilty Gear games on the schedule, so we're going to do a tier maker ranking the Guilty Gear characters from best to worst. And at the end of the day, it's October 1st. That means we are officially going to be within the spooky season, so we're going to close the day out with Monster Mashers. These are fighting games that have monsters in them. Sunday, October 2nd, the final day, we are kicking things off with a very interesting block, but it's a block that I've been wanting to do ever since I started Fight for the Future. It's called, Is This a Fighting Game? And these are fighting games that aren't fighting games. These are games that, for some reason, the fighting game community just loves, despite the fact that they're not fighting games. And I've always found them so interesting. You guys know what I'm talking about. These are games that if you ever go to a tournament or you ever watch some big fighting game event, you'll see all the standard stuff out there. You'll see your Street Fighter and your Guilty Gear and your Mortal Kombat and your Tekken. Okay, yeah, these are all standard. We expect all this stuff. Neo Geo Turf Masters? What's that doing down there? Yeah, these are games that they're in no way fighting games. They're competitive. They're head-to-head. They're games that you play against other people, but for some reason, the fighting game community has just latched onto these games, and they will always host tournaments for them. They'll always have them at their big events. So yeah, I'm going to take just a collection of those and just put them together. Then after that, we're going to do one final Path of 1,000 Elves. We're going to be doing Granblue Fantasy Versus. I'm doing Granblue Fantasy Versus because last year I wanted to do that for Path of 1,000 Elves, but everyone kept telling me, nah man, that game is dead. No one's playing that online anymore. Don't bother. You're not going to have any matches if you do that. So I was like, alright, we won't do that. And then after the stream last year, I decided to go online and actually check it for myself, and yeah, there's people still playing that at my skill level, meaning I can actually find matches. So yeah, I felt kind of bad about cutting it from last year's schedule, so you know what, we're going to do it this year. Then for the final block of this year's charity event, we're going to have a brand new tradition. You see, every single year when I put together the Fight for the Future schedule, there's so many games I want to include, but there's some that just can't make the cut. So I've always wanted to include some kind of a variety grab bag event, some way for me to just play random games from the list of games that end up getting cut. But I decided, you know what? Why don't I just leave it up to you guys? So this is what we're going to do from this point on with Fight for the Future. Every single year, we're going to have a block dedicated to viewer's choice. I'm going to take the games that I wanted to play, I'm going to create a poll, and you guys will be able to vote on which games you want me to play, and the top 4 games will be spotlighted during this block. And this year, I've already made the poll. You can vote on up to 4 out of 16 different games. The link to where you can vote will be in the description down below. So whatever the top 4 games are going to be, that's how we're going to close out the final block. But I should stress that as the final block, it is not the actual finale. No, because if you have watched the Fight for the Future event in the past, you know what the finale is. The finale every year for Fight for the Future has to be Thorgy Must Die. This is where I take a game and I set it to the highest difficulty, and we do not end the event until I beat the game. And this year, the final game we're going to be playing is BlazBlue Central Fiction. Yeah, I've already talked about this on Twitter, but if you don't know, in December we're going to have the BlazBlue retrospective. So I've had that game on my mind a lot this year, so I really wanted to fit it into the schedule somewhere, but I just couldn't find a good spot for it. So we're going to close everything out with it by me taking BlazBlue Central Fiction, putting it to the Hell difficulty. Yes, that is the name of it. And we can't end the charity stream until I beat it. So, if you guys want to see all this, as I said, it starts next Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, goes until October 2nd. We're going to be streaming for around 8 hours every single day. Although if you've watched us in the years in the past, you know that when I say we go for around 8 hours, I mean we go for well over 8 hours because we always go over every single day. But this year I did try and make things a little bit easier on myself. I tried not to cram so many games into every single day. So hopefully we'll be able to stick to our schedule a little bit better. But yes, if you guys want to check that out, again, twitch.tv/ProfessorThorgy. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Thorgy'sArcade. Make sure that you check this channel because I will be keeping it updated in case any of this changes. Make sure that you click in the description down below so that way you can vote on what games we're going to be closing out the big festival with. And also, if you are a streamer who also wants to stream as part of Fight for the Future, the join link will be in the description down below. I think that is everything that I need to cover. Whew. I'm sure this is going to go very easily and it's all going to go smoothly because I am in no way completely out of breath and feeling like I'm going to die just from making the announcement video. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I joke, but seriously, it's going to be fun. This is a good time that we have every single year, and I do appreciate you guys tuning in every single year. And I especially appreciate you guys donating every single year because it really blows me away how much money we end up raising for good causes. Thank you guys very much. Stay safe out there, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.